Welcome back if you're returning. Well, spring is definitely on its way. Blue skies, warm weather, it's gorgeous. Took a walk through a local town on Lock Street in Hamilton and found Pure Home Couture. I got a gift card from here and wanted to check it out. When I was checking it out, the hours, I found out that this place is actually closing down. They've been there for about 5 years and it's in the upstairs of an old century building. Just gorgeous. The shop is beautiful, the entrance, everything. They've done a lovely job here, but unfortunately the rents, it's a sign of the times, too high, so they're just going exclusively online now. Everything is handmade, homemade, pure as it can be for the items. They've got soaps, they've got candles, they've got perfumes, they've got all sorts. And this place was decked out with a real French country theme, and it is gorgeous. I did actually ask what was happening to a lot of their fittings and fixtures, because I would have snapped them up, honestly. But apparently they're keeping most of them. I am going to pop back before they actually do close. I think I've got about 6 weeks, and probably pick up a couple of other little things. I did grab a couple of things just to try them out, but I will be back before they go exclusively online. But I mean, could you imagine that picture? I don't know where I put it, but I just love it. Ornaments, that's how I found them initially. Somebody bought me an ornament at Christmas and it was of the Queen, and again, those displays are just second to none. They're really, really nicely done. So after walking around this beautiful shop, I was inspired and I wanted to go home and redo my whole house in French country. But I'm not going to, because first of all, my husband would leave me. But secondly, I do have a room. My bedroom is kind of French country, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it a bit of a freshen up for spring. But I do have another room in my house that really needed some attention. So it did inspire me to do that. So you all know my room of requirements. That's where we're going to head next. Here it is. This is the back room. It's the first room you come into when you enter through the back door. This room is an addition. It's there's no insulation. It is so cold. The windows don't fit properly. Well, 2 of them don't. It's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It's been a library, it's been an office, it's been all sorts. Well, the current state of it, when we moved the library into the dining room, I moved my office down here and ultimately my craft room, or part of it. I've got a big storage area downstairs where I'm keeping most of my craft stuff. But this room really needed help. It really is. It's a room of requirements. It's whatever we need it to be. And I need it to be a home office and a mudroom right now. I had started pottering here and there, put a shelf up here. A friend gave me a desk, put that in because now my husband needs a space for his computer as well. And then decided I'm going to go full on mudroom in one part of the room, which is separated by this bookshelf. So it gives us like a little corridor as you walk in. But this is the worst window. This window does not fit. It is terrible. And in the summertime, we have our garbage cans just the other side of this window. And you know what it's like in the summertime, a bit of heat and garbage. Oh yeah, the aromas are just great. So we're blocking the window. What are we blocking it with? This old headboard. So this was a homemade upholstered headboard, and I'm going to use the wood from that, and I'm going to put that board up over the window, which we have done before. If you remember, we did this in the living room, which was another window that was not fitting well. So I'm going to cover up this window, and that will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It will completely close off the worst window in the room, and it will also give me an area to put hooks for my coats, because again, it's a very old house. There's very little storage. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So the rest of the room's going to get a really good tidy up. I'm going to make curtains, cover the cabinets, the glass doors on the cabinets, paint a few things. These are going to be my curtains. I picked these up. This was, I think, $1.75. There's a whole bunch of fabric. So I thought that would lend itself lovely to these two windows. The pelmet's coming down. I may put a shelf above there, but I have, like I said, I've been doing this bit by bit and decided this weekend was the weekend that I was going to finish it all off. So with my hubby's help, we're going to transform this, hopefully, from a room of requirements to my mudroom and home office. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the upholstered headboard, and I'm going to take the material off, clean it all up. Boy, was that a job and a half. There were thousands of staples. There were at least 4 layers of fabric, batten and material, but we measured it and it's just about the right size to cover the window. We have 4 sets of brackets, 2 existing and 2 that I thrifted. I decided to paint it the same green as I'd used in the living room. Now it does look a different colour entirely because of the lighting, but it's one of those historic colours from Benjamin Moore, and I love it anyway. So I also painted 2 brackets that I picked up recently thrifting. I think it was one of my previous thrift hauls. Painted those the same colour, and we were going to top that with a board that is a veneered board. It's got oak on one side, and the colour actually of the board, I'm not going to paint it. It goes with the existing wood in the room. Now the wood in the room we cannot change. The owner said no. They like the look of it, so when you have lemons you make lemonade. So we couldn't replace the window, obviously the owner didn't want us to do that, so that's why we're covering it up. This is the cabinet that a friend of mine gave to us, and we just cut it out, painted it up, added a piece of, it's a hollow core door with a veneer top on that. We put that as a countertop or desktop. So we've got an extra desk in the room, so I've got somewhere for both computers and for crafting. This was another panel that we will be putting up on the wall. It's just a piece of melamine that's cut to fit either side of the window, and then we framed it with trim. We are framing everything in trim and then painting everything the same colour. In a recent thrift haul, I picked up a bag of these little decorative dowels, and I thought, I know what I want to make with those. A gallery wall shelf rail. You've seen them. You can pick them up from Amazon and various stores. They're the decorative piece that goes on the end of a shelf. So these were the little shelves that we were making for the racks that are going on the wall. So these are 2 little pieces of oak that have been cut to make the shelf. So what I'm going to do is take 3 of the dowels. I'm going to cut them just above the little circle bit in the middle, and then I'm going to drill halfway through 2 and then fully through 1 in the middle, and then I'm going to spray it all gold. I'm going to drill a pilot hole in the shelf so that the little dowely bit will fit in, glue those into place, and then thread the rod all the way through the middle, and hopefully it will look like the gallery rail that I'm hoping for. So this is what I did. As you can see, I did a full drill through the middle one, and then the 2 end ones I drilled halfway through, so I think you understand what I'm talking about. Now I did try drilling it, but hubby did it in the end, because this would have looked entirely different if those had been holes that I drilled. But you can see what I was going for, and it did work. I'm very pleased to say. Now all I have to do is spray everything gold and glue everything into place. time for the gold spray. So I had 2 curtain rods and all these different coloured rings. I pick these up every time I see them when I'm out thrifting. Painted them all gold, and also the gallery rails. So everything gets a good coat. Half an hour later, turn it round, give it another good coat, another half an hour. So it's completely covered and it's got 2 really good coats, and then leave it overnight to really harden up. Back to the wall, so the window is covered with the board, the 2 side panels are on, and now everything has been trimmed with this nice white trim, and I'm going to paint everything the same colour. My 2 little smaller shelves are up, the larger shelf on top is up, and I've put the 2 bigger brackets on each end to support that. Now this piece of wood is not very good quality, but once it's painted and the coats are on it, you will not know. So that's fine. And then opposite is the back of the bookshelf, which will get the same trim, same coat of paint, and hopefully will look, there'll be a certain amount of continuity between the 2. And it does look like a little bit of a corridor then as you walk it through the back door. So this is a bench, existing bench we've had for a while. Added the sides and the back to it. We're going to turn it into as kind of a shoe rack, but decided to use it as a bench, and then I think I'm just painting it all, and I may add a bit of a bench skirt to it to hide the shoes that will go underneath, but I'll do that after the fact. When it came to the curtains, it was just 2 panels, double the window width and the length. I just trimmed all the way around, hemmed all the way around, and then put little pleats in the top, put the curtain rings on, and those were done. I didn't have them lined, they just need to be light for the spring and summer. I put heavier curtains up in the winter time. And then I did a similar thing with the glass cabinet, so I just made panels twice the width and then a little bit bigger, longer than the length. I put 2 little channels at the top and the bottom for the dowels, and then just used cup rings just to suspend through the fabric between the 2 at the top and the bottom. And I did this in both cabinets, and it just covers everything up and just makes it look so much tidier. You can see here the dowel's a little bit longer, just cup rings, and it fits perfectly. And then when I don't want them on, or if I decide to use the cabinet somewhere else, I just pull the curtains out. So obviously there wasn't much we could do with this room. We have to kind of, as I said, when you've got lemons, you make lemonade. So we tried to cover as much as this panelling as we could. It's just not my style. I can't paint it, so we've covered it with as much decor as we possibly can. This little printer's palette came out of the bathroom, and I really love that. Various little pieces. There's no light in this room. There's 3 electrical outlets but no actual light. So I have as much lighting as I can, which is task lighting, the 2 on the wall, and then various desk lights. We need room now for both computers, my old computer, and then I use the new one. And I've also got plenty of room now for crafting and when I'm doing things for my videos. This little cabinet, I may put a little curtain on it, but I don't mind. You don't see it when you walk into the room or you're passing through the room, so it's not so bad. This little shelf is just handy above the window, just keeps some little items that you want to display. And of course the rest of the room is mainly covered with bits of art and shelving. A lot of my tapestries, I have a really big collection of tapestries. It would be really nice to have it all in one room together, but they're so large. This, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. This little shelf is so cute, and I don't think unless you get really close up you wouldn't know it's not metal. And it just holds everything on the shelf. Again, just for decorative, it's not really any type of storage. The key rings are perfect there, and then of course we need everything. You need the shelves. I have the baskets, I've got gloves, I've got winter scarves and hats, and of course these will be changed seasonally. But we have lots of dog items, they're lighted collars, they're harnesses, and then various between us all the different car keys. And again, underneath the bench is where we're going to try to keep 1 pair of shoes each, because it tends to get a little crazy. And then I think I will add a little skirt just to hide the shoes when they're not in use. These coat hangers I've been collecting over, I'd probably say about 6 years. Every time I find a hanger, I will pick it up. I've probably got about 20 or 30, I've probably got about 30 or 40 actually. And I try to keep them in sets. Some of them they're either identical or very close to. So I think I had 9 of these hooks that have been collected. And I've just taken them from all over the house and put them all here, and then swapped various ones in various rooms, which are similar, but I like the idea of all the hooks being the same. This particular picture is one of my favourite thrifts of all time. I've probably had it for about 15 years. I love that. This little clock does not work. I've tried to repair it, but it will not work. I've had that for about probably close to 30 years. I just think it looks really nice. Again, the art wall, I've got the tapestries on at the moment. I may change that out. I do have a lot of collections of various themes. Pictures, but we'll wait and see. Another area that was I had to think about twice was this little area above the bookshelf. I wanted it to look good from both sides, so various things that I've put. This copper container for plants had been outside all winter. I gave it a good clean, and I think that looks pretty good. The back of the unit turned out fine with the good 2 coats of paint and the trim. It looks fine. I may put something on there, but I think the less I've got on there the better. And then the rest of it, the unit turned out great when it's painted the same colour. I did highlight it slightly, the little raised diamonds on the front of the doors in gold, but the rest of the room, everything is very handy. I've got 2 decent sized desks for working and for doing crafts. These were the 2 items that I picked up from the shop that I showed you at the beginning. I knew that I love these fragrances. Peonies are my favourite flower, and the smell, this perfume is gorgeous. It's a very nostalgic, it's a very vintage smell, and Honestly, I've been looking to change up my scent for a long time, and I think this might be it. So I will definitely be picking up some more of that.